Welcome back. Let's now turn focus to Pakistan as a death toll in yesterday's Sufi shrine Islamic State suicide bombing climbed to 88. Islamabad unleashed a military and diplomatic blowback. The army claims that apart from picking up dozens of suspects, an operation in Sindh has eliminated 100 terrorists. But at the same time, Pakistan has also attempted to shift the blame for its own sectarian schisms to Afghanistan by accusing it of doing what New Delhi accuses Islamabad of doing, which is exporting terror to its neighbor.
Images of unbridled grief at the Sevan province in Pakistan's Sindh region. Wailing mourners bidding a final farewell to over 76 innocents who were killed in Thursday's suicide bombing at Sufi Dargah at Lal Shahbaz, Qalandar. Among the dead were around 20 children.
हर आंख रो रही है, बस सिक्योरिटी नहीं थी जो हम पहले से ही बहुत लोगों को कह रहे थे और काफ के सबके लोगों को कह रहे थे कि बहुत सिक्योरिटी नहीं है, कभी भी कुछ हो सकता है, कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है, लेकिन किसी ने नहीं मानी, वो जो करने वाले थे वो कर गए.
ISIS claimed responsibility for the Dargah bombing, which was only the latest among several terror attacks in Pakistan throughout the week. The bombing not only left Pakistan shell-shocked, it drew worldwide condemnation, with some countries even offering assistance to Islamabad to tackle the terrorism menace. The attack has prompted the Pakistan government to go into crackdown mode. According to an official, dozens of suspects have been picked up during raids. An operation in Sindh carried out by the Rangers during the night led to the killing of 18 terrorists. There are reports of terrorists being eliminated in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region as well. Apart from cracking down against terrorists, Pakistan even sealed its borders overnight with Afghanistan. Friday also saw the Afghan embassy officials being summoned to Rawalpindi's general headquarters, where Pakistan protested over the alleged use of Afghanistan's territory by terrorists to carry out attacks across the border. The Afghan officials were also handed over a list of 76 most wanted terrorists. The last 1 week has been among the deadliest for Pakistan. 6 terror attacks have taken place, taking the death toll close to 100. Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif called a high-level meeting a day after the Dargah attack and pledged to eliminate all those elements who threaten peace and security in the region. Over the years, however, Pakistan has become an animal that devours itself. Terrorists from outfits like the Jaish-e-Mohammed, Taliban, Al-Qaeda and Lashkar-e-Taiba have found safe havens in Pakistan under the protection of its intelligence agency, ISI. It is these organizations which have now become a bane for Pakistan.
Pakistan must now realize that the greatest threat to Pakistan's independence, its cohesiveness and inclusiveness is from its own homegrown terrorists. Pakistan must now act against these terrorists and destroy them at all costs if it wants to survive as an independent nation.
India and several other countries have time and again urged Pakistan to give up on its double-speak over combating terror, but Islamabad has so far evaded all queries. Newsnight Desk, DD News.
Let's now put out a big question. Sindh Dargah attack. Can Pakistan ever break out of its self-inflicted cycle of violence and terror? And to talk about it, we have former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, G. Parthasarathy, with us in our studio. Welcome, Mr. Parthasarathy. And even as I was putting out that question for our viewers and for you, I was shaking my head. Do you share that feeling, or do you feel differently?
Well, Pakistan is paying the price for its past sins.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 terrorist groups at least which have had links with the ISI, which continue to have links with the ISI or have had links with the ISI, and are involved in sectarian killings. Incidentally, the Lashkar-e-Taiba is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Lashkar does not carry this anti-Shia baggage.
Okay.
They are the Jaish-e-Mohammed,
Mm-hmm.
which we are looking for, the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, the Tehreek-e-Taliban in Pakistan. These are the 3 majors which now who did this can be anyone's guess. Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and the
Daesh has claimed that they carried it
let
out.
me come to this farce about the Daesh. The 2 anti-Shia organizations operating in Punjab are the Sipahi-e-Saiba and the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi.
Mm-hmm.
Both enjoy close relations with the Shehbaz Sharif provincial government.
Mm-hmm.
One of its ministers in the Sharif government, Rana Sanaullah, is a patron of these groups.
Okay.
Then you have the Tehreek-e-Taliban in Pakistan, which was used by the ISI in Afghanistan. ISI used to call people like Hakimullah Masood as great fighters. When they took too much territory, especially in adjacent
Mike Mullen described them as a strategic arm for
yes, exactly. So when they took too much territory within Pakistan, the army was forced to act against them. Now thereafter followed Zarb-e-Azab. Roughly 1 million Pashtuns from the tribal areas are homeless, still awaiting rehabilitation. Pakistan army used the air force, used artillery, used tanks to fight them, and destroyed a lot of towns. So roughly 50,000 of them have fled into Afghanistan. Now, therefore, these people are not anything to do with Daesh. They may call themselves Daesh, and it is convenient for Pakistan to say Daesh and Islamic State, because then they can say we are a victim of terrorism, Mr. President Trump.
The other thing is that there's a pattern to it now. It's a well-established pattern that shrines such as syncretic places of worship, such as the one that was attacked yesterday, are attacked. And people who have lost their loved ones have clearly blamed the establishment that, look, we asked for protection. The person who's in charge of all the affairs here at the Dargah had repeatedly asked for better security and was not given. So what is Pakistan really up to?
No, the fact of the matter is that within southern Punjab, where the Jaish-e-Mohammed is located, and that area, you have a large number of anti-Shia groups and very pro-Wahhabi. Now, if you go to the Qalandar shrine, you know the famous song Damadam Qalandar, I've been there. In my days in Karachi in the 1980s. It's a wonderful place. The beautiful Golden Gate was presented by the Shah of Iran. The sage against whom its name, according to Iranians, was one of the successors of the Prophet of Islam. So the anti-Shia sentiment, the jihadism in these people, the fact that to this shrine people of all religions go. The Hindu community in Sindh, which used to be very large but is still there, it's significant, have always worshipped here. So whether Sufi shrines like say Ajmer are syncretic, now they are mercifully we don't have lunatics like the Tehreek-e-Taliban in India or the Jaish-e-Mohammed to attack Shia and Sufi shrines. So they are paying the price.
We're a very different country. There's no comparison.
They are paying the price for their past sins of supporting jihadi organizations. Jaish-e-Mohammed attacked the Indian Parliament, tried to kill President Musharraf according to their own DGISI, and now they are getting the Chinese to tell the whole world that the Jaish-e-Mohammed is all very good guys.
But aren't the Chinese themselves worried? Look at what's been happening this entire past week. The Chinese are putting massive amounts of money into the country. We have problems with that because they're doing some of their work in a territory which we say is ours. But apart from that, shouldn't the Chinese themselves be worried, and shouldn't they be telling Pakistan, or are they not already telling Pakistan that, you get your act together?
Look,
there's a lot of speculation on that
the
account.
Chinese think they can do a deal with Pakistan.
Trump said that we might put Pakistan on that list of 7 countries. Now he's saying that he's going to alter that policy and make it a little more acceptable to courts, and he's calling the courts bad. But at one time he said that Pakistan could also be on that list.
But Trump will have to wait and see how he plays it. But in the case of the Chinese, they seem to have a deal with the Pakistanis. When the Taliban government was in power, the only foreign ambassador who used to meet Mullah Omar and people in Kandahar was the Chinese ambassador. Even before 9/11, they are collaborating with the Taliban. They think that by supporting Pakistan and the Taliban, they can buy insurance and get them to keep out from China's own restive, discontented minority of Muslims, the Uyghurs, in the Xinjiang province, neighboring Afghanistan. That is the deal of the Chinese.
Isn't that the same process of thinking that another world power had a couple of decades earlier?
Yes, certainly the Americans played this game and learned their lessons. The Chinese will learn their lesson. Because people like the Taliban may now not do much, as they did not do very much to help the Muslims in Xinjiang. And the Chinese believe that, so that's why the great supporters of the Taliban now are the Chinese. The great supporters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is linked to the Taliban, are Chinese. After all, when we freed Masood Azhar, he went and met Osama and this Mullah Omar in Kandahar shortly thereafter. So that was after the Kandahar hijacking. So the link-ups are very, very clear. And the ISI, I think it can play with fire. What has happened now is just a small portion of the blowback, because the Pashtuns have fled into Afghanistan are in areas where the Afghan government control is tenuous. So they can come back and forth.
What should India's position be on this? Because we are partners with Afghanistan to a large extent, and now suddenly, and Afghanistan has been blaming Pakistan for a long time for the kind of activities that have taken place against assets, even Indian assets in Afghanistan. So what should our stand be on this?
I think our stand is very clear. We recently, our representative went to the conference in Moscow, and from what one gathers and one sees in reports, Gopal Bagle, who will be the next spokesman of the External Affairs, was there, and he made it very clear that it is really up to Pakistan to deal with the Taliban, and that all of us owe it to the Afghan government to support the Afghan government. We should all do it, and that there is no question of cuddling up with the Taliban in the name of reconciliation. The process of reconciliation.
Will Pakistan do all that?
The process of reconciliation, according to us, has to be Afghan-led. Right now, the American general there, who commands the forces, is very clear that Pakistan is still supporting the Taliban. So let us see how the Trump administration plays it.
And as far as its own problems with terrorism, because Pakistan is perhaps the most violent place in the world right now. One used to think that it must be Iraq or it could be Syria, but in terms of terrorist killings, it's Pakistan.
It has to learn at some time that if you play with fire, you'll burn your fingers. And it'll burn more than its fingers if it goes the way it's going. But the reality is, I think we should not get carried away by this propaganda about this being Islamic State. And no. These are the Pakistani groups which have specialized in killing Shias, which have specialized in attacking Sufi mosques, and have the tacit support. As I said, Rana Sanaullah, a minister in the PML government, is known to have links with Sipahi-e-Saiba and the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, so which is very close, southern Punjab to where this...
so it's both army and politicians?
Certainly sections of the political establishment of the Pakistan Muslim League do. I mean, Rana Sanaullah is known to have these links, and it's made up.
So this problem is even more entrenched. It has no easy solutions, and perhaps nobody really keen within Pakistan to come up with any solution.
As I said, you play with fire, you'll get your fingers burned, because they thought they could control the territory.
But they seem to be pyromaniacs.
Yes, they are.
On that note, we'll have to end this, I'm sure. We're out of time. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Parthasarathy. All right, let's now talk about Kashmir. Well,